Hey everyone, what's up? Alright, so it's time to talk about Dark Souls 3. Now, I missed out on this game when it was brand new. Decided to actually wait and hold off on playing it until much later on in the year. The reason is because at the time that this game came out, I really felt like I just kind of beat Bloodborne, and I kind of was just experienced the game like that very recently, and so I wanted to give myself some good time to actually, want to get back into a game of this style before I actually jumped into Dark Souls 3. So here we are with my impressions. What do I think, positive or negative? Now, to start off this video, I do want to point out that this is the first Dark Souls game that I have played. I did play Bloodborne, and that was the first game of this style that I played. But now coming back into Dark Souls 3 here, I feel like I'm a little bit more prepared because I played, Bloodborne, and Bloodborne was a much faster paced version of the Dark Souls series from what everyone was telling me. But also, it's a bit slightly different, and I think that Dark Souls 3 was, it's built on the same engine as Bloodborne, but that in that respect, it's kind of a little bit different. Like it kind of handles a little bit differently. I'm overall enjoying the game. I find it very, very much interesting and entertaining, like I did with Bloodborne. However, I also find the game a little bit more difficult this time around. I remember with Bloodborne, I didn't nearly have as many issues starting off as I did with this game. And this game, its first opening area, relatively simple in design, but I was actually having some good trouble actually getting through the first opening area before I actually fought the boss. I did think the first boss in this game was actually easier than the initial boss in Bloodborne, but I remember in Bloodborne that exploring the city, it wasn't like a huge, chore for me, or not really a chore, but it wasn't that challenging for me whenever I came up on an enemy in the first area. And with this game, I really feel like the beginning enemies that you face and encounter, not from the very beginning prologue stage, but the first real stage after that, is quite more challenging than what I've experienced in Bloodborne. Now, this game is based off of the whole difficulty phase of, it's all about the strategic combat of the game, and there's a story that's involved within the lore of what's going on, and you really have to search and find that story in order if you really want that type of experience. For me, however, I'm enjoying getting in here and playing the game, but I'm not really finding myself that engaged with kind of what's going on. It's a world that's interesting to explore, like Bloodborne's world. And I also think that this game is a lot more brighter than Bloodborne's world. I mean, Bloodborne had an interesting color palette because it was gray, but it had a lot of gold with it. This game, I feel, is very much a brighter tone than the overall stages of Bloodborne in that respect. I really just feel like the world this time around, it's a lot more muted, I think, than Bloodborne overall because it doesn't have those nice hues and tints of like gold and yellowish colors. Uh, it's more medieval this time around, but it's all castle like. This type of style is really interesting to look at. I just find that everything I kind of come across more or less kind of looks the same. I've only played a little bit of it. I've yet to fight the third boss in the entire game. So I'm still kind of getting into the game, still in the very much beginning stage area. But I'm almost 10 hours in, and I'm hoping that the game actually does give me like lots of variety and stuff. Because Bloodborne did later on give you a lot of variety in its stages, and I'm hoping it's the same thing with this game. So, with that being said, it's kind of interesting. I had to get back into the mindset, when I was playing this game because it's a very much a different experience than what you've played before. And if you're one of those people who hasn't played Bloodborne or any of the Dark Souls games, believe me, take it from me. All right, I was one of those people that was type of against this. I wasn't really that engaged in wanting to play a game like this because it's not really story based. It's all about the gameplay and it's all about the brutal difficulty. And this is what people will tell you is that, oh, it's all about you dying over and over again and it's all difficult and you really have to just survive by the skin of your teeth. And I'm just like, it's not so much about the difficulty, rather it's the strategic combat in the game. And if you go into it with the mindset of, all right, you're going to play something that is going to be challenging, but you also are going to play something that's really rewarding and that's really unique, right? I think that what you'll overall find out of this experience is something that's worthwhile and worth experiencing. The way that I sort of tackled Bloodborne is I changed my complete mindset of the game. When I first tackled Bloodborne, I went into it and I was like, okay, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to take my freaking time and I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm not going to go run into a group of enemies and be like all in your face combat like I would in a generic FPS game. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to analyze my combat area and I'm going to really, just be patient with whoever I fight. And that survived. That really paved the way of success for me in Bloodborne. That's what allowed me to get through it. And it became one of my favorite games available on the PlayStation 4. Definitely one of those in my top 3 exclusives for the system. Bloodborne was just an incredible experience. And this is coming from someone who never played a Dark Souls game prior to that, or any game of that style prior to that. So, and with Dark Souls 3, I sort of got into it, right? And I sort of had to change my mindset again. Because now I'm experienced. Now I know what this experience is kind of like. Now I know what this game series kind of is like, playing the successor to it, which was Bloodborne. So, it was interesting. I went into this. I already knew one of the big mistakes I made with Bloodborne is I thought everything and everyone was out there to kill me. And I overall, in my playthrough of the game, I basically killed some NPCs who were important to getting the best ending for the game. And because of that, I wasn't able to, I beat the game, but I wasn't able to get like the definitive best ending for the series, unfortunately. So this time around, I'm being a little bit more, optimistic and cautious about doing that. I'm not so much going in there and just attacking someone who's, sitting down thinking that he's an enemy in the game when he's actually an NPC. I'm taking my time. I'm analyzing what's going on. I've come prepared. I printed out a list of all the bosses and whatnot. I'm upgrading my weapons appropriately and upgrading myself appropriately to match my best playstyle. And so it's actually kind of fun and interesting to go back into this game series and do it with the experience, that I've had from its successor. And hopefully that's going to pave the way for success for me to beat this game again, just like I did Bloodborne. So, that being said, I know this is an incredibly long game, and believe me, I am taking my time and grinding and, trying to do everything I can to make sure that, I do stay at the expected level of, tactics and leveling that I should be in a given stage. I don't want to go into a stage, underpowered. I want to go in prepared and maybe even overpowered, which will allow me to hopefully get through the game at a much easier pace. But exploration is key with this type of series, and exploring the environment can, already net you huge rewards. For example, I found the Uchigatana sword, which is one of the best swords in the game apparently, but I haven't leveled up to the point where I can use that weapon effectively, and so that's my goals. I'm going to use that weapon effectively. I looked at all the armor sets and found what the best armor sets are, and I'm going to try and get those armor sets. And so it's a lot of fun. This is one of those games where you definitely have to do your homework before playing it. And if you come prepared and come with a mindset of be patient, explore, be optimistic about, everyone that's in the room, and not everyone is out there trying to kill you. And sometimes they can lead you to, fantastic new areas in the game that you couldn't have access to. If you go in with that mindset and you're prepared to basically, play the game and invest yourself in the game, I think that overall that you'll have a great time playing it. This is coming from someone who never played a Souls game prior to Bloodborne or any game of that type, and I came out of Bloodborne loving the entire game. It was incredible, and I'm hoping that I'll really enjoy Dark Souls 3, being that this is my first Souls series of games that I'm playing. This is also the last Souls game, apparently. And who knows? Maybe they're going to make Bloodborne 2. They'll probably make Bloodborne 2. Maybe they'll make a new series. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's exciting, all right? So I just want to give my overall opinions on it. I'm enjoying this game. It's fun going back and playing a game of this style again, and hopefully I can get through it relatively quickly in order to get through the rest of my 2016 backlog. I originally wanted to get through my 2016 backlog this month, but I feel like it's going to be very early next month at the latest. Because I only have, after this game, I only have about 4 more games to beat, and they're not terribly long games. We're talking about an indie game, Far Cry Primal, the Technomancer, and there was one. There's Shadow Warrior 2. Yeah, they're not terribly long games, but looking forward to playing them, and just wanted to let you guys know that. Thank you all so much for watching, and you have a fantastic day. And by all means, if you guys who are really into this type of game and series, give me some pointers, give me some tips. I'm always staying open minded about this game and this franchise, and want to make sure I learn as much as I can and be as tactful as I can. So give me some pointers. Feel free to do that. Just try and shy away from spoilers, all right? Thanks, guys, and have a good one.